As John Maxwell once said, a leader is someone who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. The development of my leadership skills is one of many gifts KUNA has given to me. I've grown in my ability to think critically, act decisively, and solve problems collaboratively. I believe I will use all of these skills to promote and achieve goals set forth in my 3 platforms. My first platform is something we as a first world country fail to understand. Poor nutrition causes nearly 45% of preventable deaths in children under the age of 5. That's 3.1 children each year. I believe that as an international community, there is no better place to use our financial resources than in the goal to end world hunger. In my second platform, I want to promote clean water and improve sanitation. 663 million people, or 1 in 10, lack the access to safe water. The aspect of this that hits hard is the fact that this very thing, contaminated and unsafe water, happened only 402 miles away from our home here in Kentucky, Flint, Michigan. 2.4 billion people, or 1 in 3, lack the access to sanitary toilets as well. I believe every person should have access to clean water and proper sanitation. My third platform is to provide quality education for everyone. 67 million primary-age students are still denied the right to an education. In a 2012 report by the Overseas Development Institute held that less than 2% of South Sudan's country has completed a primary school education and/or K-5. This hinders a person's ability to achieve opportunities that we all have here today. A quality education should not be based on where you live or your economic stability, but it should be a right provided to all. With your support, I believe that together we can effectively solve these issues. I would like to leave you with a quote that sums up my campaign. What you do today can improve all of your tomorrows. My name is Harrison Bratton, and remember, I am not running for office, I'm running for you.
Dear 2016 Kuda ambassadors, I am here today to discuss with you matters of extreme importance. Currently, there are over 100 developing and underdeveloped countries lacking a stable government able to provide their citizens with basic rights and needs. The only way to solve this is through reestablishing the partnerships for the goals, reestablishing peace, justice, and strong institutions for all, and battling climate change. Firstly, I believe that in order to achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, we should strengthen the partnerships for the goals. It's simple. The difference between problem causing and problem solving is whether or not you can work a part of and as a team. Revitalizing the global partnerships will not only lead to a stronger, more unified world as a whole, it will also strengthen and reinforce economic development within developing and underdeveloped countries. As my second platform, I believe that promoting peaceful and inclusive societies with access to justice at all levels would end many of our current problems. For example, humanitarian aid is often too late due to the time it takes to arrive and the disorder found amongst these countries. Imagine you're watching the news and a segment appears on screen. A massive earthquake has struck Nepal. Even with your gracious donations and organization's best efforts, many people will still die in the initial shock. With a stable government, lives will be spared. As my final platform, I believe climate change can drastically affect our ability to solve many of our current problems. The global temperature average has risen by 1.53 degrees Fahrenheit from 1880. Now you may be thinking, 1.53 degrees, that's nothing, right? Well, the fact of the matter is quite the opposite. This small change in global temperature average can lead to the destruction of entire ecosystems. In essence, the aforementioned problem should be a basic starting point in order to ensure sustainable futures. Remember, if you want to pull ahead, vote for the red.
Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai once said, "When the whole world is silent, even one voice can become powerful." Around 11 years ago, a 3-year-old girl and her 2-year-old little brother lived in a house filled with drugs and alcohol. It was not uncommon for her and her brother to have to find their own food to eat. Because of their parents' absence, they also were not getting the education that they needed to be successful. After a few years passed, they were taken into a loving family and were soon adopted. As she got older, she longed for a place where she could use her voice to make a difference. She soon found a place that ignited a fire in her heart and made her feel a part of something bigger than herself. That place and spark, which made the fire continue to burn, was here at the Y. The boy and girl that I have described was my brother and I. Zarya Cowan, and I challenge each and every one of you to make the choice to not just speak about the change, but work together to be the change. Seeing that my platforms of quality education, ending poverty, and zero hunger were at once reality to me, I have made it my goal to educate and make a change, not only within the United States, but around the globe. Sadly today, education remains an inaccessible right to millions of kids. Over 700 million adults cannot read. Furthermore, they do not have the necessary education to improve their living conditions for themselves or their children. Nearly half of the world's population lives in poverty and on less than $2.50 a day. This is less than what it costs to buy a hamburger Happy Meal at McDonald's. Now, KUNA 2016, we can do better because we have the opportunity to change this. It's up to each of us to make the choice and use our voices to be difference makers. Remember, it's your voice, your choice. Vote Zarya for 2016 Executive Committee.
What is your definition of a Secretary General? A leader, the head of KUNA, the KUNA version of a KYA governor? Whatever the definition, I assure you I can fit all of them. I'm Lindsay Lott, and I'm one of the candidates for Secretary General. I can remember my first KUNA last year. I was the girl who sat in the back of my chair, planning to circle the candidate's name that sounded the coolest. It took me an entire year for me to become the person I am today. But this transition can take you just 1 minute. So let's take this 1 minute to talk about my 3 platforms. My first platform is education. In sub-Saharan Africa, 80% of people have not completed their education. In countries like the US, parents struggle to pay for their kids' college tuition. If the UN were to pay for a certain number of college tuitions, and in return those students spend at least a year in Africa helping build schools, it would be helping education to help education. My second platform is food sustainability. As we heard last night, 735 million people worldwide do not have enough food to eat. Look at all of us here today, the unity of all of these countries. If each of our countries were to contribute to the cause of hunger, we could end this problem once and for all. My third platform is gender equality. If you can imagine yourself being a doctor with the highest wage in the hospital, or even the President of the United States, please stand. Now, if you are a girl, please sit back down. Based upon one characteristic, you are thought of differently than the boys you are sitting next to. You may all sit back down. The Secretary General of the UN has established that there is already a project in place for gender indicators on education and employment in the countries Fiji, Ghana, Maldives, Mexico, Mongolia, the Philippines, South Africa, and Swaziland. And I support this program. Remember, there are a lot of opportunities if you vote for Lindsay Lott.
Few will have the greatness to bend history, but each of us can work to change small portions of events, and in the total of those acts will be written the generation of history of generations. Robert F. Kennedy. Hi, I'm Amelia Hargus, and I want to change the world. I want to change the world because it is faced with many problems, such as gender inequality, poverty, and unclean water. First, we have the issue of gender inequality. Amina J. Muhammad said, "We are entitled to live free and equal. All people should be equal no matter who they are. Whether they are male, female, black, or white, we are all human and deserve to have equal opportunities. We need to make it to where everyone has a chance to do anything they want, whether it's having the same job or doing the same activity. I believe that everyone should be paid equally and everyone should have the right to education no matter their gender. Together we can make this reality." My second platform is poverty eradication. Over 3 billion people around the world live on less than $2.50 a day. That's not enough money to buy the necessary things you need to live. Poverty is a big problem worldwide. According to UNICEF, 22,000 children die each day from poverty because their families can't afford food, water, and the things that children need to live. They live a life that no one should live. Water sanitation issues are my last platform. As we all know, water is an essential part of life, but shockingly, 748 million people all around the world don't have access to clean water and become very ill from drinking the contaminated water. There are many efforts right now to eliminate this issue, but it's not enough. We all need to work together to get rid of this problem, and with everyone taking part in this effort, we can save lives by giving clean water. So let's begin to write our generation's history one step at a time. Every small action matters because when 7 billion people do that one thing, it changes the world. So let's change the world together. Remember, Amelia May will lead the way.
Hi, I'm Conor, and I attend JCTMS. Some qualifications that make me a good candidate for presiding officer is I will listen to you and your opinion, I'm respectful, and a good leader. At my school, I am the president of our Beta Club, and I also conducted a poll tab collection for the Ronald McDonald House. The 3 platforms I'm supporting are quality education, gender equality, and clean water and sanitation. Education should be offered to everyone. 70 million children worldwide don't get an education. Because they don't get an education, this will affect their whole life. What I want to do is provide everyone with an education. The next platform I'm supporting is gender equality. This platform also ties into quality education. Many countries continue to discriminate against women having an education. Without an education, it's hard to get a job or a good paying job at all. In today's society, women are still being treated like they are below men in the workforce, at home, in private, and public places. 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted or beaten in their lifetime around the world due to not having laws to protect them and not having punishment for offenders. Many Middle Eastern and African countries have no laws granting gender equality. I want to be able to live in a society where women are treated equally to men. I want to enforce gender equality. The final platform I'm supporting is clean water and sanitation. Clean water is a necessity for life. Without it, we would be dead. 4,000 to 5,000 kids die each day because they don't have clean water. And 6 to 8 million people die per year because of unhealthy or lack of water. Unsafe water carries bacteria that can kill someone because it's unsafe to drink. What I want to do is provide everyone with affordable and clean drinking water. By doing this, we will save many lives. Remember, vote for Conor. She's built for it's up. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carly McKinney, and I'm running for your 2017 KUNA Executive Committee. For those of you who don't know me, I want to tell you a little about myself. I'm an athlete, I play basketball and soccer, I'm a friend, I'm a white kid, and I'm a storyteller. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you a story. As an old man walked along the beach at dawn, where thousands of starfish had washed up on the shore, he noticed a young girl ahead of him picking up starfish one by one and flinging them into the sea. The man caught up to the girl and asked why she was doing this. Her answer was that the stranded starfish would die if left into the morning sun. But the beach goes on for miles, and there are thousands of starfish, countered the man. You can't possibly make a difference. The young girl looked at the starfish in her hand, flung it safely into the waves, and said, I just made a difference to that one. I'm all about making a difference, even the littlest one, so that brings me to my 3 platforms. My first platform is good health and well-being. I believe drug use takes a huge toll on this. An unacceptably high number of drug users continue to lose their lives prematurely. The drug market of heroin is rocketing, and many countries have little or no access to treatment. This needs to change. My next platform is gender equality. One big problem is pay gaps. Pay gaps exist all around the world, including the U.S. The global gender pay gap ranges from a 3% difference to a 51% difference. If a man and a woman are working the same job with the same skills, they deserve equal pay. My last platform is quality education. 31 million primary school students worldwide drop out of school. An additional 32 million repeat a grade. I believe education is the answer to many of our problems. We can abolish drug abuse and gender inequality, poverty, and terrorism just solely for education. I know with your help, I can make a difference. Remember, I'm Carly McKinney, and I'm a starfish flamer.
Every one of you, just by showing up here today, has made history. You are here at KUNA 2016. There are about 1,500 students here tonight, and each one of your minds holds the answer to something. A vaccine for an otherwise incurable condition or disease. A way to plant and harvest crops in climates that otherwise wouldn't be able to sustain them. An idea for leveling the gender playing field. 3 examples of solutions that can be in your minds right at this second. These are big problems. These are my platforms. The first major problem is our health and population. We live in a world where disease wipes out thousands of people at one time. In 2009, 58 of our 196 countries have universal health care. Angola, represented by South Oldham Middle School, has only 1 physician for every 100,000 people. I want to improve the physician-to-patient ratio in all countries, because no one should have to watch their child, sibling, parent, or friend die from something that could be cured. The second major problem is food security and sustainable agriculture. About 795 million people don't have enough food to stay active and healthy. In Africa, the climate is unsuitable for growing crops. I want to use organic fertilizer to make soil more suitable for growing crops everywhere. This will provide food for villages and towns that previously had unsuitable soil. The third major problem is gender inequality. You most likely see protests that try to bridge the wage gap between men and women. I want to promote the increase of women in the male-dominated fields. However, I don't want to just empower women. Let's empower men too. I want to make every field that's dominated by one gender equal. I can't change the world by myself. Let me lead you in the change. So let's cure disease. Let's beat hunger. Let's make sure no one is treated differently based on their gender. This is our world. Learn it, live it, love it. The time is now, the place is KUNA. Let's make history. Vote Moses for world victory.
I am not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are very different than my own. Audrey Lorde. This quote is moving in the sense that until equality is attained, everyone will be at a loss. My name is Madison Mosa, and I'm running to be your next Secretary General. This leads into my first of 3 platforms, gender equality. Millions of girls and women all over the globe are suffering from some sort of oppression. Some may suffer from something like the gender wage gap, but many suffer from sex slavery, human trafficking, domestic violence, rape, and the refusal of schooling at the primary level. The fight for equality and equal opportunity is far from over, and if I was elected, I promise that justice will be given. Now for my second platform, responsible consumption and production of resources. Without the weaning of non-reusable energy sources and the reduction of waste, we will run out of resources. If I'm elected, there will be change. If elected, I will make sure that reusable energy sources will be further implemented and limitations will be set for non-renewables. Water will be used appropriately and waste will be reduced accordingly. The responsible use of resources cannot happen overnight, but strides can be taken to lessen the blow. This leads into my third and final platform, clean water and sanitation. Clean water and sanitation will help to improve the life expectancy, quality of life, and overall cleanliness of these African, Asian, and Middle Eastern countries. The fight for clean water is the biggest and most devastating yet, and if nothing is done, people will just continue to suffer. 713 million people worldwide lack clean water. 1 out of 4 kids don't have water. Thousands of children are dying every single day from a cause that we can solve. If I was voted your Secretary General, men, women, and children everywhere would benefit. Vote for Madison and let the change begin.
Hello, fellow ambassadors. This 2016 KUNA Assembly. My name is Kira Jackson. I'm representing North Middle School. I'm going to share a couple of things about myself that I believe that are important. I participate in many sports such as volleyball, soccer, and basketball. I have played volleyball for 3 years, basketball for 1, and soccer for 10 years. I also volunteer at local charities around my community, which is how I chose my 3 platforms I would like to introduce to you today. One of my 3 platforms is Special Olympics. Special Olympics is one of the world's largest organization for children and adults with disabilities. And in my opinion, I think that Special Olympics deserves more funding. This organization will work to help people get involved in activities and into the communities. My second platform is Clean Water Initiative. This is a charitable organization that was founded in 2014. It provides cleaner and better protection water system. I believe it is very important because this initiative can perhaps save lives. My last platform is Compassion International. It's a Christian child sponsorship for children living in poverty all around the world. I think this is important because poverty is a huge issue all around the world and affects thousands of people around the world. I believe that my platforms are very important to today's youth and one day make the future brighter. Thank you, ambassadors, for taking the time to listen to my 3 platforms and have a blessed day. Don't forget to vote for Action Jackson.